virginity is important. I don't think virginity is the issue, really. It's we outdid it. It doesn't matter anymore. I mean, a guy will not come up to you and say, hey, I'd like to go out with you, but first of all, tell me if you're a virgin. I mean, that's not the way it goes.
Yeah, but okay, but
know one way or another when you're going in.
Fine, that's to the guy, but what about you?
It's all
like,
personal.
it's a personal thing. Like, if you want to be a virgin, well, that's your own thing. You don't have to go up to a guy, well, I'm a virgin, you know, will you go out with me? But it's you that feels like, I don't want to be a virgin, or I do.
But
like, it's not the social thing, like, that a guy's going to check to see if you're a virgin or not.
They still do it.
I think one of the things, though, is that you have to consider why somebody admires a virgin.
Right.
Because they were the first. If they're the first one, then they have a lot more respect for the person, and there's sort of a private, intimate feeling about being with a virgin. You know that you have much more consideration for the person. Yeah, but then when you look at it in the way of experience, you won't get along with the person.
Yeah, you'll think,
Not
oh, they don't.
necessarily.
Yeah.
You can respect a person just as much if they're not a virgin.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
But that's one thing you have to look at, though, when you...
And another thing is, if you're with a guy, why live and worry about, you know, what's happened before to you or anything?
Right.
Why not live for now and,
Yeah,
you know,
it's true.
right,
It's
live for
all
the
personal.
right
If
time.
you feel guilty about having sex with a guy, then why do it? Why would? So it's all
half the
it's all in
time-
a person's mind.
Half
Like,
the time the guilt is
yeah.
built into you. It's not yourself. It's the guilt is put into you by other people because of what
Like
they
your
said to
parents.
you.
Right, like your parents.
Like some people, the religion says, no, you can't.
well, then if you can't, and if you don't feel you can't, well, don't do it
Yeah.
then.
Well, I just think that if you're going to be a virgin, it's a personal matter, right? It shouldn't be, and nobody should force you one way or the other, and that's all it is. It's just your decision, your individual decision of how you're going to feel afterwards. If you're going to feel really cheap and less of a person, or you're going to feel guilty, then you shouldn't do it.
But the minute they look for a partner, they want a virgin.
Oh, I don't agree.
Yeah.
No way.
But just consider this, your parents are not virgins. Oh, yes. I shouldn't have said that, should I? That's one way of looking at it.
But I think your parents would be happier to know that you're not a virgin and using contraceptive than you're not a virgin and Mom, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
If he respects a girl enough, he's going to use some protection. If he doesn't respect her, well then, she's got the wrong guy.
For some reason, girls in society don't take that as hard if a guy's not a virgin, but a guy will take it harder if a girl's not a virgin.
Yeah, because there's more girl virgins than guy virgins.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, this little devil comes up non-virgin.
No, but like it's my personal view that I want to be a virgin. Like I don't have any forcing like from anybody. Like, and people say that if you're a virgin you can't talk about sex. Well, that's not true, because I know through my experiences with guys I can talk freely about sex to them, and I know the guys that I've gone out with, they respect me for not being a virgin, for being a virgin.
Or you hit the opposite extreme where the guy won't even go out with you because you're a bumbling incompetent or whatever.
Like my parents, the only thing they tell me, don't get her
Well,
pregnant.
they'll change them.
Okay?
They'll
That's the only
change.
thing they tell you. They won't sit down and talk to you. I got a brother, he got a girl pregnant, and that's the first time they approach him about sex. The minute he got her pregnant, okay?
I'm there.
Well,
Then
that's
he
what I
turned
mean.
around
Tell
to me
your
and said,
parents.
don't do the same thing. Like I asked,
Don't do the same thing. It's how you can prevent yourself
get
from...
mad at me. You just push it away. It's taboo.
If you're going to have sex before you're married, you have no problems with getting pregnant.
Right.
So isn't that the main thing that's
Yeah,
impaired?
they're just afraid of getting pregnant. That's the only thing.
I think that's another reason why I'm a virgin, is because I don't want to get pregnant before I'm married, and that's a safekeeping for me, really. Like, there's no way.
You have the right to change your mind.
Oh, you won't always change your mind.
tell me that you're going to stay a virgin forever?
Oh, no!
I'm saying I'm going to stay a virgin. Well, this is what Margaret is saying.
I'm saying I'm going to stay a virgin until I get married. At least that's what I think right now.
In today's society, you have to really admit that a lot of kids just aren't ready to wait. They have feelings, and they've got to be recognized one way or another.
It's not.
When other people have the opportunity to listen in to the private thoughts of people about sex, whether they're young or whether they're old, it's a privilege, it's an opportunity. It's a time when you should prepare yourself to be receptive, to hear, to listen. People talking about their sexual being. Each person is a self totally ignorant of sex and has to learn it himself. It isn't something that you can say information is now available to everybody. It isn't available to everybody. Each person has to take into themselves knowledge about sex and sexual matters. There's a big difference between what you know in your head and what you know in your gonads. A lot of these kids are awkward in all these areas because it is all head stuff, and they're struggling to make sense out of it. And somehow they intuitively know it won't make a hell of a lot of sense till I have a little more experience.
You know, I wouldn't force her, but she want to get down, makes me no difference, you know? I wouldn't force a girl into something, but if she's ready, I'm ready too. You know?
If you and your man have a beautiful understanding, y'all get along, and he's not out there with other women, you're not out there with other dudes, it'll be all right. But see, if he's going to lay up with you and you're going to lay up with him and then go turn around and go with other dudes and he go with other girls, you know, that's no relationship at all. There's no need to have sex, because you're only getting a reputation for yourself.
Yeah, and you have to know where the guy is standing before you put yourself through this problem, because then suppose after you go through all this, you end up pregnant, right? And then he's gonna go trot off somewhere with somebody else. That leaves you hanging with a kid. And then while he's off having another affair somewhere, you know.
If you come early and if you're at a young age and you go to high school, yes. Because most of the girls, they talk about boys in general, dances and all that. And if you're not in it, then forget it. Just completely out of it. You're like an outcast.
If what?
If you don't, you know, if you don't talk about how you made out with this boy and how many guys you've been going out, they consider you an outcast.
Like, sometimes they don't show how they feel. If they'll say they like you a lot, they love you, and they'll act like they can't stand you. They don't ever make up their minds. Then, if you, like, let's say you're with your friends, right? Your friends leave, you're with him, right? They leave and you go with him. They tell you, how come you always leave every time your friends leave? All right? So when your friends leave, you stay with him. And they tell you, why don't you go home with your friends? You don't know what to do. No, they don't ever make up their minds.
Well, like he might say, he expects you, what he expects from you from taking you out, like it's his payback. That's what, like, I think that's where the pressure mostly is, like when he takes you out and then, you know, you come back.
If somebody take you out, then you know, like, you're not gonna just sit there and do nothing. You know, he probably kiss you or something, but you're not gonna, you know, he gonna expect you to do something, and I guess you're gonna expect him to do something. But like when you go out, you don't just sit there and enjoy the movie. You know, sometimes you do other things. Depends.
And if you're going out with him, you know, like if he's going out with you out somewhere, he should dress decent. But if you're not going away, he can dress any way he wants.
See, it doesn't really matter how the dude look. It's the girl. Because boys could come out here dungarees, sneakers, sweatshirt. But if a girl come out here with dungarees, sneakers, sweatshirt, you know, raggedy jacket or something like that, the first thing they think she's a butch. So when a girl's walking next to their dude, of course they like to look good.
You have to make yourself look attractive to the guy. Like, cause in my case, I used to wear jeans and sneakers all the time. And the guys just thought I was one of the guys, you know. I used to play football with them, and they never knew the difference that I was a girl. Until one day I combed my hair, I took my hair out of a hat and whatnot, and I put on a pair of shoes and a nice pair of slacks and a decent shirt. And they finally realized, you know, that I was a girl. Because most of the time I used to walk around in a sweatshirt hanging off of me, my jeans dragging off of me, bummy holey sneakers, and a hat slammed on my head, you know.
Yeah, but I think boys like girls that are hard to get. Not real hard, but you know, like if he asks her something, she's not gonna throw herself at him and say, oh sure, I'll be your girl anytime. Anytime you call and I'll be there, whistle, and that's it. They don't like easy chicks. Would you girls dress up just to see if you could get a rap with the guy? Or would the boys ask her for a pizza? Or how would you go around and try to pick up a guy or girl?
How would I go around trying to pick up a girl?
Yeah.
Hey, if I like her, I talk to her, you know, tell her I like her, rap to her. Maybe take her somewhere, we talk. You know, we get an understanding, we start going with each other.
If a guy knows you like him, right, and he doesn't like you, they'll avoid you and whatnot. You know, it's mostly like, but when I look for in a guy, like I think that if he's ugly or something, but he has a beautiful personality or something, that I can overlook what he looks like, you know? like they have this thing that says what Mother Nature has forgotten, you know, you can't help it. Like most guys would tell a girl, I know a couple of cold dudes that this girl was flat-chested and they told her, why don't she stuff her bra, you know, stick something in it. But you know, you can't help it. Like if they don't like your physique, then I guess they won't come after you, you know, you can't help it. But most girls, some girls will get so desperate that they'll go into these bust development things and try to increase it. But I feel that, you know, it's what you have, and if they don't want what you have, well, they can go. You know, they can forget about you. All boys look for girls that got some kind of curves in them or something, you know.
Hey, why not?
And you know, you full of it because you were talking about it
The current
yesterday.
styles are ugly. I don't like the current styles.
Well,
I'd
you're
rather
not
see them in
wearing
jeans.
them, are you?
No, that's why I don't wear them. I'd rather see them in jeans.
Okay, now how would a guy feel if, let's say, he was about to have sex with a girl and she just strips around. If she finds out that she had breast cancer and she has false breasts, how would he react? Would he say, oh no, I thought you were something good, but you're false, forget it. Well, how would the guy react? You answer my question. I answered it first.
How would you react if the guy had cancer of the
Don't answer
prostate
a
or
question with a question.
You'd be shocked, I'm sure. But she should have told you beforehand.
Sure, but what if she didn't have the courage?
Then
Would you have the courage if you had a fake?
I wouldn't get undressed if I had one.
But would you have the courage to tell the girl if you had a false penis? You would tell her?
Hell no.
Most of my sexual experiences have been really extremely bad. Like, I've been hurt for most of them. Well, for me to go about doing anything with anybody, I'd have to get drunk first. Then sometimes it just doesn't work out. Like, I don't want to, you know? So it doesn't work out and they get upset, I get upset. And that's where it starts to hurt.
They believe women are objects instead of thinking we're people. I've been fucked up in different ways. Been belted around, thrown around, and played games with, like mind games, which is worse than any of them. Because mind game is worse than any of them because when your mind is being fucked over, you can't mend a mind. You can mend a body, like a broken arm, broken leg, but not a mind.
My parents would be extremely hurt if they knew I ever even kissed the guy. They tried to hide me in an eggshell, a nice safe place where I wouldn't find out about any of the evils, especially sex. My parents were very protective. In their own way, they would say something like, we don't want any unfathered children, or, you know, they would never say it though. They would never touch base or even say the word, which is strange. God, I don't know how many times I've been hurt. I don't know.
Well, I had sex about 70 times, and I really never thought of using any sort of protection before until one day I had a talk with my father, you know, and he said I should use a bag or something. So I started thinking, and I think I'm going to use a bag for future sexual activities.
But like the first thing I thought it was two people up in a tree naked, what I thought you know, making love was. But then, you know, I learned, you know, that it was go into bed with a girl, and I didn't know how to make love to a girl. I never did it before. You know, kiss girls, you know, but never, you know, went to bed with a girl before. Didn't know exactly what to do.
Let's face it, the big thing is to meet somebody in life. And everybody wants that, and they go to dances and bars and stuff. And they meet somebody, and should it ever develop, they find they have real differences. But if you meet through an activity or something on campus, right away there's a common interest. And Cheryl and I sort of met just hanging out in a room together.
We started seeing each other a lot, and spent a lot of time together. And then over Christmas vacation, we were living together for a few weeks, so it was working out really nicely. Just by sharing a room, it adds a great deal of meaning to a relationship by sharing a physical part of your life with a person, eating meals together, paying bills together, and it's like becomes, you know, almost a family type thing. It doesn't compare emotionally with just seeing somebody, because you still have that physical distance and that you know, to life type of thing.
The quality relationship with Cheryl is very good, and the sex is very good. We're different people in a way, so we have trouble. We have a lot of arguments about our differences. I think that does affect, you know, sex at night. But also very often we forgive each other at night when it's time to go to sleep and we have sex. And it sort of makes up for the day, any arguments we have. And if we have a day full of arguments, either sex at night is really miserable, or we just go to sleep, or, you know, it's like the forgiveness period and it comes off really well. Sex is a very strange thing. Just for some reason, moods of the people, 1 out of every 7 or 8 times, really is a nice experience. It's really amazing. They're, I hate to use the word vibes, but you know, that's what's in the air. And other times it's, I wouldn't say mechanical, but you know, you just do it, and it's good, you know, but it's not great.
I don't believe in any kind of birth control.
I don't either, because I feel that when your body is ready to reproduce, then it will just happen.
I was sexually abused by my father several times. Mm-hmm. It started when I was 14 years old. It was getting too bad, and I had to face the reality of it, that my father was sick in the head to do something like that to me. And thanks to my little sister Louisa, because she started coming up the stairs and the door to my room was closed, and he heard her footsteps, and he automatically stopped, and he pulled up his zipper and tried to calm himself down. And the next day I split. I went to California, and if it wasn't for the help of a lot of friends, I probably wouldn't be living right now.
To each his own, you know. I don't feel anything wrong with masturbating if you're a girl or if you're a boy, because it's only a natural thing. If you're excited one night and you don't have, you know, the satisfaction that you want, there is no reason why, you know, you shouldn't feel free to masturbate. It's a natural thing. And I think it's kind of sick when people put other people down for it, because there's nothing wrong with it.
A chick has the same feelings as a guy. Even though, like, you know, we're of opposite sex, our emotions and our feelings are the same. Our sexual feelings are the same too. Why should they be different?
The thing that a person needs to know and remember is that there's no particular virtue in starting early. Early sexual experiences, even if the parties are willing, can be unhappy experiences because the fact that one or both of the parties are not psychologically, emotionally, or physically ready for this kind of experience, and so it's a bad experience. I would encourage anybody who has any anxiety or any doubt or any uncertainty about starting not to start. I would say don't have sexual experiences until you are absolutely sure that you want to. If that happens to be 3-4 years later than your friends, that's perfectly all right. You're not going to be harmed by it. There's no virtue in having the sexual experience at a certain age. There is some advantage in waiting because you're going to be more mature. You're going to be capable of having a different kind of relationship with the person that you're involved in. You're going to be less caught up in the fantasies that are part of trying to become sexual from a non-sexual position, which is what all of us have to do. So that the more time you have to grow, to get older, to have more life experiences in general, the better chances are that your sexual experiences will be good.
Oh,
point.
Yeah. Do you know who this?
What?
Do you know who this?
We've just passed through a so-called sexual revolution, which is supposed to have changed our whole sexual behavior and our attitude towards sex. Fact of the matter is, half of 19-year-olds have still not experienced sex directly, and 75% of 16-year-olds have not experienced sex directly. So that the revolution has been mostly in our talking and thinking, but it hasn't brought about the changes where people will indulge in sexual relationships unless they're ready. When they're ready, they will. And I think it's very important that for each person they make the decision when they do it.